Okay, guys. So, mindset and mentorship. We were just talking about. There we go. We were just talking about the 30 days being scrapped, and Amrit has come up with an amazing question. I don't get this. Why is it so hard to make 10% in 30 days? So, here's the funny thing. It isn't. It's a piece of piss to make 10% in a week, let alone 30 days. However, when you're at the stage of doing your challenge, when you're at the stage of doing your challenge, you are being told you have to do 10% in 30 days, putting unwanted and uneasy pressure on you to do 10% in 30 days. That's why a lot of people fail, because they buckle under pressure. When you are trading with the flow, you're emotionless, you've got it, it happens, it works, it just clicks. You can make 10% in a day, you can make 10% in a week, you'll easily smash through 20% in a month, because you're not thinking about the money, you're not thinking about the targets. And there's a cracking saying out there, one of my favorite sayings, and it's all to do with the best traders in the world aren't focusing on making money, they're focusing on taking the best trades. Okay, that is one of the most key things to understand. Okay, the best traders out there are not focusing on taking on money. They are focusing on taking the best trades. Money is secondary, because if you take the best trades, you will earn money. Money will follow. And it's all about looking for the most perfect setups. And it's all about being patient. And sometimes sitting there for a day, not taking a trade, is the best thing for your trading account, because there's not going to be a trade opportunity every single day on the pair that you're looking at. You might just not see the trade that day. And that's okay. You don't have to take it. If you're up for the week, you're up 10% for the week, you're up 5% for the week, you're even up 2% for the week. Why would you want to take a trade that isn't as good as previous setups just to try and force yourself into a situation? And that's what I would always be wary of as a trader. You know, that's a really good bit there. Hopefully that answers your question, Amra. But how else? How's everyone else getting on, guys? You know, does that make sense? Does that resonate with what we're saying? Just for the mentorship side of things, look, you know, today 3 o'clock. Just this is the last piece of high volatile news coming in for the USD pairs. I don't know if I'm going to trade between now and then. I don't know if I'm going to trade for the rest of the day. I'm up for the week, so we'll see. We'll see what presents itself. As of right now, it's still very bullish. This week, if I turn the weekly calendar on, I mean, look, this week's just been huge. So this is the thing, right? This week's is just gone. Now let's look at these weeks. Let's start from here. This is in May. Consolidated, up week, down week, and then up, down and up week, down, up week, up week, up week, down week, up week, down week, up week. What are we expecting next week to be? So based on the analysis we've done, how many days? So we had consolidation here and then up. So this is really 2 weeks of kind of bearish activity. But the rest of these days, it's changed narrative. Down, up, consolidate, consolidate, up, consolidate, down, consolidate. You're not going to get, it's not going to be the same week next week. So already we're looking ahead to next week. Because we know now it's very unlikely to just carry on moving to the upside. So what do we anticipate? The first thing that's going to happen next week is price will probably make some kind of high, probably attack the high that was created today. Once that happens, we look to the left. First thing we need to do, measure the range. Let's pretend the range finishes here for the day. I don't know. We've got news. It might go higher. What's inside 50%? Well, we've got this imbalance. We've got this order block. We've got this imbalance. If we get sells, these are legitimate target areas we could go for. You know, if I measure the fibs for the previous up week, we came down to 50%. If I measure the fibs for this up week, even if I measure the entire range, we came to 50%. This week didn't, you can clearly see, didn't come to 50%, but we consolidated, came into that imbalance. This week here, I mean, it even came lower than 50%. So you can clearly see we're getting reactions at 50% and lower. So it should come into a discount. It is obviously worth keeping an eye on this area here for next week. And going down the time frames and seeing what it looks like. So just travel down, see if there's anything inside there that looks suspicious. So 1 hour candle potentially. It's not really the best looking candle. I like this 30-minute area, but there's no imbalance. I feel like this could all be taken. If we go back up to the daily area and we highlight this imbalance, which we know is in the 50% area. Let's go lower. Let's see if we can find anything. Imbalance in the 4 hour. Nothing really on the 3 hour, the 2 hour. There's liquidity under here. So there'll be liquidity. So yeah, we could definitely target that liquidity there. More imbalance. So the 45-minute is showing some imbalance. Frozen, more imbalance. More imbalance. Are we going to find anything? This looks like imbalance. So this 15-minute candle, completely unmitigated. Maybe we come down to there. Maybe that's the target. You can see we're making a high above this area here. So as of next week, so I'm anticipating today, we've taken that high. I'd be anticipating accumulation, distribution to maybe come into here and then to accumulate and finish on a high. So that would be how I see the week going. And then what will probably happen towards the end of the day, we'll probably close down here somewhere. So that's probably what will happen. Where's the 5 a.m. candle? Here we go. So this is the 5 a.m. So price has come down into there, pushed higher. So we could have a bullish day. And then next week, I imagine what will happen is price will probably do that and then that. You heard it here first. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if that happens. That's what I would do. This is how I analyze the charts, guys. I keep things stupid simple. I'm not trying to overcomplicate anything. I'm just doing and analyzing what the markets are showing me. Just what the markets are showing me. I'll look in these areas. A couple of comments here. Rachel, still can't control my emotions. Not sure if you will. You will, Rachel. You will, because
money down here or something.
What will end up happening? Guys, what will end up happening, Rachel, is it will just become second nature. It will just become second nature. Now I know that we've spoken a lot about your funded challenges and things like that. You are so good at getting to a certain point. You know you are. You're so good at getting to a certain point you do in your sleep because you know what needs to be done to get there. So it's just getting to the next stage. It's just doing the next piece. It's just filling in that point of the jigsaw puzzle to do the rest. Okay, and I promise you, it will work. As long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep at it, so much happiness is coming your way, I promise. It's not a case of if, maybe, it's a case of when. It really is. Lonzo's come up with a question. Considering the power of 3 on the weekly could have a bearish day today, since we were at the high of the weekly this week, could we expect a wick? On the weekly, considering the power of 3 on the weekly, could US 500 have a bearish? Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, there we go. Yes, so 100%. So there's a setup that happens around these times here, and essentially you are anticipating the market should reverse by about 20% of its wick. So yeah, you definitely, now we've actually hit these highs, I reckon we're probably going to make one more stretch to the upside, and then I imagine we could finish lower. the thing is, it doesn't have to be a bearish day, but it could finish bearish. I would anticipate, because when you look at like, most of these wicks ends up spiking and then dropping. So when we look at the weekly, we haven't dropped down, but every week here does have some form of move to the downside. So I would definitely anticipate a bearish move. It really depends where we are for the PM New York session. If we're already making highs above these areas, so let's say let's fast forward ourselves, and let's say we're in the PM session, then what will probably happen is we'll close here, if that makes sense. And if we do end up higher, we'll probably close around about the same area anyway. I don't think news could take us completely lower, but however low it takes us, we don't know. I mean, we have got news at 3 o'clock, so we will wait and see. It will go to where liquidity is, and there are lots of targets below, but how powerful that's going to be, I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, this was a news event here that pushed us higher. Could it come lower and then push higher? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, today could definitely finish, or should actually finish bearish, to answer the question. Right, let's see. Let's see what Euro's doing now. London session was funny. It was good this morning. I was looking for an entry down here because where we are, okay, extremely bullish. You can see price is expanding to the upside. This is yesterday, and then we see the wick, the power of 3. Price coming down. Now price has pushed up. It's actually coming back down again. So it looks like we may be ready to take that low. Looking at the 4 hour, we come in below that low there. That's the wick that took that low out. Looking at the 1 hour, again, we always look into the left. This is the midnight open. So New York, 5 a.m. UK time. That's the time to highlight. The New York algorithm uses this time. And you can see here around 7 a.m. we had an injection to the downside. It's always important to have many different time frames that you can utilize and look for areas that you could think price could react from. Now, we've got hourly imbalance right here. We've obviously got liquidity right here. So with that in mind, you can see it's obviously dropping lower. We can go down to a smaller time frame. And actually, what can we see there? We can see a 45-minute institutional area unmitigated to the pip. That's where price ended up reaching to. Now, when price did that, I was hoping for a move to the upside. We could definitely be a buyer in here. I probably would have waited because that's quite a big range for me. But I was looking for something in here. I was around here in the London session, and I was looking for something to formulate. I didn't really see anything that was worth, or catch anything that was worth jumping onto. There wasn't really a clear break. I suppose this area broke above here, but then respected here, and it broke below anyway. So a very high chance I would have been stopped out. It was just shy of the 45-minute candle, as you can see. So price dipped a little bit lower. So I was really looking for this structure break to happen. We just kind of crept away from it. Nothing really happened, even on a 2-minute time frame. There wasn't really anything for me to jump on, and even on a 1-minute time frame, I was in there looking, and I just didn't find anything. The only thing that had potential was this area of imbalance right here with this order block, but price, as you can see, never made it back down. So that would have been an entry for me. We did take more liquidity, and then we broke above this level. I would have been happy to enter there. I was thinking about this area here, but then when I was looking at this area, there wasn't really any imbalance, but I was thinking about putting my stop all the way down here, and my target was only, I think it was like here somewhere, so I didn't really see massive point risk reward wise. But if I had have taken it, I mean, but at its highest point, that could have been a 1 to 6. I mean, I didn't take it. I'll always be honest and transparent with you guys. If I didn't take it, I'll tell you. But that was something I was looking at. And, don't be afraid to take them. If you see price pushing, then take it. Just account for that imbalance that sits in there as well. But as of right now, I do still believe this could go higher. I believe we could come lower. Again, I think maybe attacking these lows, maybe coming into this 1 hour candle here on the 4 hour is an area to pay attention to. So if we come into there and accumulate, I'd definitely be interested in going higher. if we go on to the 4 hour on euro as well, there is imbalance in that 4 hour as well. So that's the area that kind of has my attention at this moment in time. I won't just press buy, I will be looking in there. That's what I've got for sale. Perfect. Yeah, so I think so. I think that's the right place to look for it to move. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It doesn't have to play out, but overall I am bullish for the day anyway. There's a 15-minute candle with, let's see about this one here. That one there, yeah, definitely could play. Yeah, target out there, see if it happens, see what works. I mean, we'll see what happens with news and things like that. But yeah, that could be your first area, definitely. And it will mitigate back into London session as well. So yeah, a very high chance we could come in there. Whether or not we take out London session low, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's definitely in the discount level area there. In the kill zone perfectly. So yeah, could definitely work out. I think the 1 hour puts me off though, because look, it's technically broken structure to the downside. Low, high, new high, spike above, and then it's kind of dropping down. So that's what makes me think this was probably a valid area, because that would respect the higher time frame, the 4 hour time frame, things like that. Looking at NAS, I can see that it looks like we're just going to push higher. Doesn't look like we've taken that high yet. So yeah, I think that's the clear and obvious target. So that has taken it. You see there. We haven't taken it yet. Interesting. So that's offer us a small amount of divergence. As of right now, we're consolidating, nothing interesting happening. I would like to see us maybe manipulate under here, come back into here possibly. See if there's anything under there. Yeah, could maybe come back lower down here, but see what happens, I guess. I'm going to wait. I think more information we get, the better. I think I'd be more inclined to trade on euro before 3 o'clock UK time than I would to trade on here before 3. I'm probably going to wait for the US news to play out and to see what happens, just to be on the safe side. But has anyone here got any charts that we should look at before we start chatting and things like that? Yeah, consolidation on gold. USD CHF is clearly dumped to the downside still. Yeah, I don't know when we're going to start slowing down on that. There's no point in selling, because I would just anticipate price action should. I mean, look, even then, bearish, we should retrace next week. So next week on USD CHF, we should get some bullish moves. Can you explain the midnight thing for us, please? Yeah, so all it is it's the same thing with the power of 3. So usually at midnight, so basically when you've got a candle like that, you see, and this is, let's say we're in a bullish day, what you anticipate is that you want to be buying in here. Now, what tends to happen, and I have backtested this, it does work. Usually you see sort of consolidation, and then at midnight you get kind of like midnight and 7 a.m. UK time, you get a fake rally. But essentially the only thing that midnight is New York midnight is when the candle, it's like the new trading day for the algorithm. So you want to be buying, when you're bullish, you want to be buying below here. So when you're looking to be bullish, you want to be taking out liquidity with manipulation. You want to be noting areas of interest to the left of you. So that's your point of interest. And this is the area you want to see manipulation come down to. And then you want to be taking price higher in this area here, targeting liquidity. And the only thing the midnight open does is say that you should buy below it. And if you're selling, you should sell above it. And the daily candle does actually restart, I think, midnight UK time, and you can use that. But I've been doing a lot of research and things like that, and it does work with the New York algorithm just as well. So it's all about just time and price and things like that. Actually, guys, if you go onto the website, this is for the premium course. If you're onto the website, the module 6, a couple of lessons are now out. So you can actually start watching those lessons. And I do talk about Power of 3. I do talk about midnight. And I do talk about certain things on there, which is going to set the foundations to really smash out that module, which is really going to help you with the understanding of things. So yeah, if you want to go and watch some lessons now, guys, not right now, but to that over the weekend, then yeah, that's out for you now. So there's about 4 or 5 lessons on there. So yeah, definitely good if you guys look at. They're not overly long videos either. I think they're about 10, 15 minutes each. And I will try and keep them short. So guys, any questions, any concerns? How are we getting on with our trading? How are things going? You know, this is a safe space. This is where we want to open up. This is where we want to utilize the point to ask questions, to voice concerns about anything trading related. Are you low in confidence? Are you high in confidence? Are you too high in confidence? Because one thing's for sure, guys, you know, when you have that funded account, it's very hard just as well to keep it, if that makes sense. So you can give it back just as quickly as earning it. So you really have to be in the right headspace before you start taking these trades. Power 3 really help connect the dots with. Oh, perfect. Yeah, and so this is in module 6 is really gonna really eye opener, I think. On live account, I have issues to hold my trades to TP. So, I mean, I'd be wary trading on a live account if you're in that stage at this moment in time. But it's very, it is one of those, it's experience. You know, it is really experience. There's nothing else to it other than the fact that it's just going to take a serious amount of experience. You know, I'm just trying to find the trade I had yesterday, which I think is going to hopefully help you out. Where was it? I mean, look, even if you take this setup here, I was here, wasn't it? So look, when you're hitting, firstly, it depends on your TP. It depends on all your TPs and things like that. But essentially, look, if you're in this area here, so we can see here 1 minute point of interest, price action broke above 2 areas. You can take a trade inside this imbalance at this candle. You can take it wherever you want. You can have your stop below there. I mean, I think my stop was, I can't even remember, but my target was this high here, which eventually got hit. It ended up coming lower anyway and then pushing higher. But when you take a trade, now my broker did tap me in on this imbalance right here, but price pushed higher. It didn't hit that. It didn't hit that high. Price comes down. Now, this is a 1 minute time frame. Firstly, you're in a lot of profit here. So a lot of traders, even traders that make a lot of money, will go break even here. And I was thinking about break even, but I didn't. I was up, so I was fully prepared to risk all of that anyway, like the percentage that I was on here. So when price pushes higher, and then comes lower. Now look at where it's actually pushed up to. It's only come to this area here, and then it's coming back down. What it's doing is coming back to fill in all of the rest of this imbalance. And that was all that was going through my head, that we're filling out the rest of this imbalance. And the reason I was confident is because price never violated. Once price tapped off of the imbalance right here and then pushed higher, it was just a case of consolidating around. When that happened, I was pretty confident this was probably going to be okay and at least hit that target there. And that was my TP anyway. So once I got out of there, that was fine. But how many people here would just panic at weathering the storm with this amount of drawdown? How many people would just get in here at a small loss? Or how many people would see that one last expansion and then go straight to break even, only to get stopped out again at break even, to then see price smash out your target? You know, it takes a long time. Well, it doesn't take a long time, but it takes as long as it takes for you to weather the storm of just being in drawdown. You know, look, you've got here 1 minute. So how many minutes is this trade? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, half an hour. Half an hour of pure price action where you are profit, drawdown, profit, drawdown, profit, drawdown, 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 profit, and then TP. So half an hour. So Lonzo says I would have been break even. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I sometimes on occasion am break even. I wasn't yesterday. I was happy to hold it, and I took a loss at similar trade on EU because my stop loss was pretty tight at the same time as well. So it's not. It's just having trust and faith in your setups. 1 minute time frame, we've aggressively expanded. That's the target. You know, even that could be a target. You've got equal highs right here. Price, it's unlikely to just come up to here and then come down again. This is just price manipulating. And then you can see price is hanging around this imbalance and then pushing higher. It's just scaring people out of the market. That's all it's doing. It's all it's doing, and it's doing a bloody good job of it because so many people are out of the market at this stage, and the banks, intraday banks, all the levels have taken out these areas and they've taken you out. They've got what they wanted from you, and you either taken a stop loss because people have put their stop losses too tight, people have accepted small losses, and then suddenly people are in the market. And to weather the storm, it just takes pure amount of experience, and nothing can substitute experience. But the battle has to be won and fought as well, won and lost as well. And this is all about purely understanding the compounding effect of what happens to your money. If you view a 1% loss on an account, bear in mind, right? What is 1% of an account? 1% is 1%. It's how it sounds. It's 1% of 100%. It's 1%. It's very, very minuscule. So why are you so scared of losing 1% on your account? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Now, if you're scared of losing multiple 1% on your account, then something maybe isn't right with the way you are trading. And that's the question you need to ask yourself. Why are you so scared of losing 1%? Because even if you're on a funded challenge, losing 1%. So what's FTMO? 10% gain, which now we know we've got unlimited time to do. Okay, so an FTMO challenge, 10% is the aim. And I've done this before, and I'll do this again. And I've got some really cool things to show on this, but flip a coin 10 times. And even if you've got a 50% chance, of it going heads or tails, I want you to flip a coin. Whenever you get a second, please go and do this. Go and find a 50p coin, flip it 10 times, write down the answers. Whatever, whether it be heads or tails, was the worst off. So let's say you hit heads 4 times and tails 6 times. You would then pick heads as your winners, and you would pick whatever came out the most as your losers. Come back to me on the Discord or come back to me in the chat, whatever, and tell me what your result game was. That is an exercise I want you to try and do this weekend. Even at worst case scenario. And you're taking trades that have got a higher than 50% chance of winning because you are trading with the higher time frames. You're trading with extra confirmation. We've already hit huge expansion to the upside. We've already hit reaccumulation stage. Take these setups and don't be scared of losing 1%. If you're scared of losing 1%, lower your risk. Go to 0.5%. Because if you're on a challenge and you're not, you think of it, right? You've got 10% is the gain, 10% is the drawdown. So you've got 10 lives. 10 lives. If you lose 10 trades in a row, then you're not ready to do a funded account. It's quite simple. Then you don't deserve the funded account. That is the reason they've got challenges out there. And as brutal as that sounds, the reason there are challenges out there is because they test you. They want to know if you can trade or not. So if you lose 10 trades in a row and you don't do it properly, then of course you're not going to get the account. But how many people here lose their accounts due to revenge trading rather than just taking 1% losses? Because the amount of people that will take a 1% loss and down to a 2% loss, down to a 3% loss, and then just revenge trade to try and bring their account back. When in reality, you're only 3% down. Like, you're 3% down. Let's just bring it back, take the setups as we know we should, and then go again. That is how to get over the fear of losing trades. It's just by doing it. It's just by experience. If you really are scared of losing 1%, you shouldn't be anywhere near a live account, guys. If you're really scared of losing any kind of live money, you're not ready, even if you're profitable and you know what you're doing, mentally, go on a demo account for a month. It's a month of your life on a demo account and just take trades. It does not matter whether you win or lose because you are practicing. It's the practice stage. And that is what's important. So don't be worried about 1% losses. Don't be worried that if you're in profit and then it's going to come down and hit you out, break even, whatever. You know, there's plenty of reason to go break even in here because you might end up being up 2% and that might be good enough because 2% is better than 0% and then fine. You can take that out of the market. That's a win at the end of the day. Or you think, oh yeah, that's my rules to go break even. I left this very simply because I was up for the week and it was already a buffer of risk that I was able to use. And it just ended up being even better. You know, so maybe my next trade, instead of risking 1%, I could risk 2% because I'm happy to lose 2% because that's what I'm not going to cry about it if I lose. And that is the key to it, guys. That's the key to it. Does that help your questions? We've got another one here. Had a really good week a few weeks ago, but since that I've been on a losing streak. I know it's getting in my own head. I'm slowing it down now. So yeah, look, so you're on a losing streak. So there's a few things. If you're on a losing streak, firstly, are the trades souring? Are the trades getting less and less quality? If you're on a losing streak, here's the best thing to do. So you've got 2 losses for the day. If you have 2 losses, or that equates to 2% loss, you don't trade for the rest of that day. If you take 2 trades in London session, they both lose, you are done for the day. If the second day comes and you take another 2 losses or another 2% loss on your account, you are done for the entire week. I don't care if that happens on Monday and Tuesday, you are done for the entire week. So you can never, ever, ever lose 4%. You can never lose 4% in a single week. And then it gives you that rest of that week to practice. It gives you the rest of that week to reflect. It gives you the rest of that week to go back to the drawing board and maybe go back onto demo account and just take the trades. And then on the Monday, when you come back, you're fresh, you're ready, and you're taking high quality setups. If you carry on losing, then you're just not ready yet. And that's not a bad thing. But that's where you have to reach out and get that help. It's out there. You know, it's out there. I think I started getting desperate, was not going through the steps. and just trading around. Yeah, exactly. And that's a typical thing. And listen, I have previously been guilty of that. Honestly, when I lost, like if I was like down 8% on a funded challenge, and let's say this trade here lost, I would just think, oh, it's clearly going down. I'm just going to press sell. So what would happen is I would just press sell, and then price would just take me out. And I think, oh, it's going up now, so I'm going to buy again. And then I would just get taken out. And then eventually I would just lose everything and I'll just flip. And that is how revenge trading can really suck you out of it. And it's, you know, the biggest skill in trading isn't even taking the trades, it's not taking the trades. I really mean that. It's so hard to sit there and be patient and be happy to not have a trade on that day, because sometimes the market just won't present what you want it to, and you need to make sure that the market is doing what you want it to do. Lonzo used to do that too, did you? Yeah, I know I'm not the only one in here that used to do that, and you won't be either. Like it's just experience. It's just experience. The thing is, guys, when people jump into trading, people how in the chat now, how and why did you go into trading? I'll tell you exactly why I did, and then you tell me if it's similar or if you think you got into to trade for a different reason. Because essentially, I had a pregnant wife, lockdown was looming, all that kind of thing, and I was just looking for random ways to try and make more money. I didn't really like what I was doing work wise. I was in a bit of a shitty place anyway, and I turned to the charts simply because I saw a Facebook advert of someone doing an advert in a massive house saying, I only work for 10 minutes every day and I earn £600,000. And I thought, oh, okay, that'll be easy. Cool. Is that it? I'll give this guy £500, £1,000 for his course. Cool. Oh, wait, the course is crap. Oh, I've just lost all that money. All right. But then, you know, I was lucky enough to get talking to people and do more research. And I thought, no, this can work. This should work, but it's just not a get rich quick. I went into trading thinking, yeah, get rich quick. Cool. That'll answer all my problems. Nothing is get rich quick, guys. Nothing. Not trading, not e-commerce, not drop shipping, not Amazon FBA, not property, not business, not working your way up in the corporate ladder. Nothing is get rich quick. So anyone out there that thinks you're going to do something, you're going to pick it up in a couple of months, you're going to be on six figures, you can't think like that. You can't think like that. And that's that. It took me a long time to realize that. And I get more and more frustrated because I thought, oh, I'm losing all this money, losing all this money. And by the way, guys, a lot of you have been here nearly over half a year now since this community opened. And you've already learned so much. So you're not in the stage where you're thinking this is get rich quick. I'm not accusing anyone here of doing that, because you're sticking with it. You're here. People have come and gone along the way. Like, people have signed up, tried it for a day, realized they're not going to get rich from this course, and gone off again. People have tried it for a month and then thought, no, I've not made any money yet. I'm going to go and try something else. I'll try and do e-commerce. I'll try and do drop shipping. I'll try and do network marketing. I'll try and do something else. Get rich quick does not exist. And it's the same thing I always say. When you go to be a doctor or a vet, how many of those practices or hospitals are going to employ you with no experience, with no university degree? You have to spend those years learning. You have to spend those years getting the qualifications. You have to spend those years getting the experience, and then you get the job. And then you get the job. Trading is no different. Maybe you don't get any qualifications as per se, but what you do get is experience. And that's it. Trading is the same, guys. Like this, you are in the learning phase for a new career, which is going to be very, very high reward. and it can give you everything you've ever wanted. Of course it can. Of course it can. It can make you happy. But don't sit there and think, I want to be happy because of the money. Sit there and think, I want to be happy because of what this can allow me to do with my life. You know, there are other ways to propel your life. Trading might not be what puts you on a pedestal for the rest of your life. Trading might be the starting point. This might be something that gives you the cash to go into property or something like that. Or open up your dream business that you've always wanted to. So yeah, it will get there, guys. I've learned so much good. I've been 2 years in November, and I refuse to give up. And listen, Rachel, you won't give up. And that's amazing. You know, that is absolutely amazing, and you'll get there for it. I started a secondary income stream which I could invest and grow wealth for my family in the future when I'm gone alongside growing my business. Was that trading, or is that something else? I've been trading 1.5 years, but just reached consistency now. I'm doing good. Just need to trust myself for the trades. More than 3%. I'm closing my trades at mostly 2-3%, even if it's up 4 and 6%. But as you said, coming experience. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Trading in the Zone. Is that Mark Douglas? That's an amazing read. Next year, I'm teaching my son this so he can be set up by the time he finishes school. Amazing. I love that, by the way. I love that because this is a skill that is transferable. It's a skill you can teach people. It's a skill that you can really do, because the school teaches you completely naffle in terms of what the real world has for you. School, and listen, I used to, when I was in the manufacturing business with the family, like my dad has a manufacturing business, and I worked in there, and I started a side business to warrant that. And essentially what happened was I was looking for apprentices to come straight from university, from school, to have work for me, because my thinking by the time was, yeah, they can come on less money and things like that. And Jesus Christ, they were coming at me with no experience. They were coming straight out. They didn't really know how the business worked, but they understood how to do the manufacturing that I needed because of what university gave them. And their salary expectations were 35, 40,000 pound a year when they should have been on 20,000 or 25,000. That was what the ad was. And I used to say to them, what makes you think you can come into the real world and just straight away earn that kind of money? And they say, because that's what I was taught at uni. That's what they said. Once I go to uni and I learn this is what I should be earning. But in the real world, no one's going to go and employ a welder, a plumber, or whatever straight away for 50 grand a year, 35, 40 grand a year. It's not how the world works. And no one teaches children that. No one teaches children that at school. That's why the school system's so messed up in certain ways. I think the school system's incredible, absolutely incredible for teaching you how to do your chores. It's incredible for making you the person that you are. It's incredible for helping you make friends. It's terrible for education. It's terrible for real world. That is my opinion on the school system. I think it's important, and my kids will. I'm not one of them that's going to make homeschool my children, things like that. I will send my children to school when they're old enough. They will go to school. They will do it to be the humans that they need to be. And that is it. That is it. Whether they go and achieve their dreams, whether they use school or not, that's up to them. I'm not going to force them. I'm not going to be that parent that forces them to do a certain thing in GCSE. If they want to go and do drama and textiles, they can go and do drama and textiles. They can do what they want. If they want to learn what I'm doing, they can learn what I'm doing. As long as they are happy and they go and meet their friends and they have their friends for life, they're set up for life in that way. But they'll know that, in my opinion, and I won't tell them during, I'll tell them after school when they're finished it, that I didn't believe in the way the education system is. Because if you tell them before, what are they going to do? They're just not going to learn, are they? They're just going to sit there and put their feet up. So that's my opinion on the school system. It's subjective because a lot of people might not agree with that, and I respect that. But that's my opinion. So Rachel's read it twice. I think I should have it on repeat. What helped me was backtesting a lot. You see setups and you can't do live trades. That's the issue with psychology. Yeah, exactly. Backtesting is very important. Backtesting is so important because this is the thing. how people backtest. And I was quite ill on Wednesday, so I couldn't do the mentorship. But on Wednesday, I wanted to talk about backtesting actually. So what I'll do this Wednesday, we'll go over backtesting, because how you backtest is actually quite important as well. I'm not one of those that will I don't particularly turn this off. I don't just sort of like go back here and press read, like delete it, or I like to just look at the charts. I like to, because I know what the setup looks like. I know what the setup here looks like, and all I have to do is go onto a 15-minute chart. I'll delete everything here. If I just turn the sessions on, so I can, all I want to do is look at when I want to trade. So I want to trade 8 a.m. London session until 10 a.m. And I just go back, and we will do this on Monday, by the way. I'm just gonna, this is all I do. Right, I'll do it one more time. And all I do is highlight these times, and this isn't, I'm just randomly doing London session. I do New York as well. But I look at what's happening on a smaller time, on a 15-minute time frame. I'm just looking at the moves. So I can see, look, liquidity draw, reaction in there, pushed higher. Push higher, come back down into there, pushed higher. Wednesday, consolidating, but we knew there was news that day. You know, what happened here? Price pushed higher, came down, came back. So I'm just looking at that. You know, I'm not sitting there worrying about the model, because I know the model will be in there. I know the model will be in there. I know the model will be up here. Like, someone put in the chat that they took a sell up here. Right, this is funny because they took a sell up here and they got stopped out. Right, and this is the thing: if you're emotionless and you've got one trade left, let's say you take your, was it you, Amrit? So here we go. That's the most perfect setup. Re-entry. Like, it happens straight after taking highs. Aggressive expansion down. So, you know, these moves happen straight off the breaker block as well. And in module 6, guys, I do talk about the breaker block. So that's another cool lesson for you guys. Rachel says it's not the ability to trade, as Tom will know. It's the pressure of rushing that I fell on, but I'm sure one day I'll stop making mistakes, step losses. I've passed on many challenges, phase one, but phase 2 screws me. Oh, you took the second one. Perfect. Perfect. And listen, the execution, like, this model is easy to find. Like, this trading model, where are we? You know, this here, I don't even know where it went in the end, but you know, this trading model is easy to find. It happens every day. We know that. But it's just being patient, trusting yourself. It's just understanding that there's so much more than just taking a trade. 90% of it isn't the execution. That's 10%. 90% of it is the mental state you're in. It's the mindset behind it. And that's what's so important. That's what's so important. But anyway, we've spoken for a while, guys. How's everyone doing? Have you got any questions at all? So here's the thing: some days I can see the setup, some days it's blank. Okay, so the days that you see the setup, take it, and the days that you can't see it, just don't take it. This is the thing, like, maybe on the days that it's blank. So when I have days like that, because listen, I do, when I have days where I don't see these setups, I go back in the evening, whether I'm on the laptop, the iPad, whatever, and I will just reflect on the trading day, and I'll actually look at it from a higher time frame point of view, and I'll just see how it ended up. Maybe it was just a consolidating day. You might not see it in the moment, but maybe it was just a consolidating day. That's why sometimes it doesn't make sense. And it's very easy for someone to get very lost when it's a consolidating day. They're the worst days to trade because not very much gets set up. So yeah, don't beat yourself up when sometimes it doesn't work. Any other questions, guys, or comments? Hopefully this has helped you guys. Or giving you some motivation, ready for the weekend, ready for Monday, ready to smash it out again. So with that, guys, I will leave you to it. I will upload this onto the website, and yeah, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out, guys. You know where I am. If I don't hear from you, have an amazing weekend. Hopefully the weather improves. I would love to get on the golf course. Don't think I will though. And yeah, I will speak to you all very, very soon. Take care, guys. See you later.